Shall we remain standing and get a prayer from Pastor Kase?
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, this afternoon we want to ascribe glory and honor that which belongs to you, acknowledging that you are doing. There has been a cry that leaders don't meet business people, and that leaders are the only ones who are benefiting by virtue of them being in this position. I want that to end. That's why I'm saying I want to work for you and with you. So the first thing that we must do is put our house in order. To change a komushu because in a chonde fire, about deliverables whatever deliverables I have for Chililabombwe, I must do it with the business community. Without you, we won't succeed. I want to dangle a carrot to you so that you also support what I want to achieve. For example, I want to use agriculture and sport as one of the ways in which we can revitalize our youths to make them sources of income. We don't want sport to be just a recreational thing. We want to use it as a way of generating income for Imsepela Shesu. Yesterday, I met the schools because I want them to be a vehicle that we can use to begin developing sportsmen and women. We want to take our youth to proper agricultural activities, not to no, that's not what we are talking about. But for me to achieve those things, I need money. Money from government and money from you. And for me to get money from you, I must facilitate that you begin to make money. But for me to facilitate that you make money, you have to be ready, because when opportunity meets the preparedness, that's when you have success. If there is an opportunity, you are not prepared for it, you won't make the money. Others will jump on it and make the money. So these two must be there, opportunity and preparedness, without which you won't make money. I became MP because I was prepared for it. Those of us like Validia, who's been with me, have been preparing for this thing since I don't know. So I'm ready to work. That's why I've already hit the ground running, because I was prepared for it. So the opportunity came and here I am. I even know where to start from. I'm not trying to look for where to start from. That's why I'm meeting you, because you were in my plan that what we need to do to succeed is to make Chililabombwe businessmen prosperous, so that they can plow back in the very community where they are making money. But before we do that, you must be ready. You must be prepared. If I tell the mines that I want you to give a certain percentage of businesses to Chililabombwe people, you must be ready for it. Excuse me. We have had businessmen kunoko ine ku Chililabombwe ndemi yebera kole. Bayingira mu plant, ba supply ko tubiri. Ichashala bambo kula supply omwela na madiru. We destroyed our own reputation ourselves. And the companies were chased from the plant. When the Indians came, they came on a very good footing. It's us who messed them up. Ukula supply umwela umuntu alefola toamba nokula kwata ma enken party. Party ya enken yeka eka. Njira ngendi chintu sana. What happened? The Indians discovered. They started tightening their boats. We lost the business. So me, Chair, I want serious businessmen. I'm going to fall like a ton of bricks on people that can give us opportunities. But make sure you are ready. Because as Kabusu, I know how to put pressure. I'm born for pressure. That's why when we were campaigning, we were given pressure in Shatala, Monaco. But we withstood the pressure. I was almost arrested 3 times for nothing. I was almost given treason. At a former party to vote to Musepe. So I'm born for pressure, I'm wired for pressure. So I want to put pressure on people that can give us business. But I want our businessmen to be ready. Begin to prepare where you can get things. I know that under President HH, the mining community is going to be revived. Because for us to prosper as a town, the mine must promote middleman business. We must have deliberately, we must deliberately promote policies that will promote middleman. Middleman business is the supplier, the contractor, in the middle. If we tell the mine that Chichintuch Kurushte in Chililabombwe, and the chairman, to the Kyoko Baba selfish. If we can team up and buy something big, kuno Chililabombwe kwa lichitikapo, umuntu agula business ya mnankwe, aibomfyako kutisa supply chintu, afola aluba ya chitane myotoka, ale moneka bwino abene ba company, ba shala fyaba waya waya. So today, I want us to put ourselves in to each size up, and I want to tell you that I'll be an MP that will be open to you. I want you to use me to prosper, but also plow back in the community. I think Mr. Gonyas has been very good at that. So we want to build capacities in all our business people. But you must know that as I build capacity, or as the government builds capacity in you, a businessman. Yesterday I was talking to teachers. Imoma business mukere muno. Na mwishibati kwa liwe school, mupe pifye, abana be school bekala panshi, board balemba pachibumba. Here in Chililabombwe, nishina ba businessmen yomo bati. Kwa liwe school, abana 400. Vaya toilet, pango pamaya ndayaba nepa, bale edipila, bali pa school. Muno muine mushifi. Yet we have businessmen. So me, I'll do my part. We'll make connections, we'll make the noise. We'll take your leaders, tia nibane, and balu bambe tubamone twaisa. Ama company not kwataya. Yesterday I visited Ichibuendo. I want to release those vehicles. I'm still consulting with the relevant authorities on whatever instrument they used. And I consulted with them and I told Badabe Naba Kuyabazi Dennis that these vehicles must come out. Why should we punish people? Because so we want to engage and find out, then go to the relevant authorities. If it's possible, go to the president and tell him, sir, help us. Because these people whose vehicles, you are punishing somebody twice. But me, my thinking is, we must move away from telling our people at Nwasmagola. Takwa Wasmagola in Chalumienu. Let's show Ungapa Bodan is Westmagola. The only thing is to change the law. If you have to change the law on smuggling, we do it. There is a solution to these issues of minimum. It's just that abantu bali temwa. Baisali abantu Baisalira abantu para pali bazeddene sibena baleshitisha kulya kuntashi kudangote. We must give each other equal opportunities. Ndiyo munga baleshitisha abantu kwale bafetira muntu aleshitisha apaleshitisha and it employed a lot of people. As a matter of fact, most of the structures we see here, the houses, the buildings, it's money from the border. Because those are God-given resources. But I want you to be ready, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared. I've told you, opportunity must meet preparedness. These two must meet. Ngapabulira Chimoni State today. Ama company gwino, profile gwino, kuboda kulianga tuaya notifia kuitemwa. You know, as we are fighting each other and blocking each other, foreigners are busy taking over the border. So I want you to give me solutions because you are businessmen on how you want us to sort out these things. That's why I'm engaging you. I will be engaging you from time to time because we have to bring sanity to our town. I've got a program to start amateur league for football, for tennis, for squash, for basketball. I've got also a program to start improving the arts, the actors, because those are avenues which we can promote our youths. But I need money to do all those things. Yes, we'll get something from government, but I need money from you. But that money must be made. And me, I must create a way in which you make the money. I am Makamumpere in a day of Kushaka from Kandi. Tamuakamone po munomka le son tatifia kwa kabusu ito cha tafia kamone ke muno. Insansa shandi le chirumba chandi kumona ba businessmen bale ufa kwe. Bale nshafima moto ke suma atababe na Chililabombwe bali katika. That is my plan, that is my goal. And I have no favorites. I only have hard workers who are ready to work. In all these meetings, I'm moving with my party because I want my party to listen so that we move together. I hope we are getting the message. So mkwai ndelo mbakotubombele pamo. There are a lot of other businessmen, but let's bring all of us on board. Because I'll be knocking on your doors, but I must not knock on your doors with nothing. And that's why this meeting is interactive. We'll ask questions and discuss and talk, so that we can know what to do, where to go, and we are taking note and see how we can help one another. You know where the challenges of business are in Chililabombwe. You know. You know where you have not been helped. The only thing I cannot do is to get a teaspoon of honey and put it on your mouth. No, that I can't do. But to facilitate that our businesses prosper. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are very key to my development at oh no. Sorry. Use this one. No, use that one. sorry about that. Yeah, so that is how we are going to move. So with these remarks, I want us to interact. We ask questions, we raise concerns, and I respond.
Company, as we say, supplying company. FOIA registered from 2015 up to today. That why supply it into we've tried and retried in all the companies. Even if you council, that why so it ain't a material and selfishness. Whoever it's selfish in Chililabombwe. Yes, abantu bali selfish. Tumwasanga bamabene abantu ebasenda weki abana abo tababala batako participate. So with your coming, I think na ifabene kweba rejected kwebo bakosere kuwaya limitwala abo tutubukako twala bako abantu mu Chililabombwe. Otherwise twafweni ba MP edwe yo ine mulandi yokweba tamukweta ma favorites if your leader fuli okuba equality yakwalida tafudi yakwatati yo aba ebwakumbatira aba abaposa bantu na mailo bali abene ngole poso kesa abafati emkwaye fanalanga.
Honorable, congratulations on your appointment. Also, our President, HH, and the party as a whole. It was time for change. We were in a mess. Another 5 years we would have sunk completely as a nation. I have a lot of things to discuss, but I'll just mention agriculture, and I'll see about the rest some other time. I have a shopping town center. We do supply all sorts of inputs for the farmers. Over the last 3 years, I've seen things improving, meaning that more people are going into farming. I think people have seen that there's nothing else for them except farming. And that makes sense because we have to eat, and we have to also supply our neighbors. Let me start with ETG. ETG is a fertilizer company from Osaka. They have a branch here in Chililabombwe, and they are selling supposedly wholesale to shops, agricultural shops, and individuals. Unfortunately, if you buy a 20 kwacha from them, you can't sell it at 30 or 25 because they're selling a 20 kwacha to everybody, even individuals. So they're taking away all the business from plain Zambians and from anybody who's trying to make things improve. I've gone out of fertilizer business now for 2 years because it just doesn't pay. You can't buy at 200 or 300 and sell at 400 because it just doesn't make sense. ETG was supposed to sell to us and let us do the selling to the public and to the shops. But being Indians, they're doing shortcuts. They're doing both the wholesale and the retail, all in one. And there are more people in town doing that as well, who are foreigners. I won't mention names. Fisk. I was one of the agriculture shops chosen by the previous government to hand out inputs to farmers. That's fertilizer, seed, lime, and so on. About 3 years ago, they stopped paying us. Out of 22 agro dealers in Chililabombwe, I think there are only 3 Zambians left, and I think there are 2 foreigners. The shops have just closed down completely. Previous government, have not paid the agro dealers. As a result, they don't have money. They can't run their shops. Our people are running small shops, and even 1,000 kwacha can make a difference. In my case, I was owed, well, I don't want to mention figures, but a large amount. I only survived because of getting some assistance from overseas. And even today, with that assistance, I'm still having problems because business is bad. Could you please look into this business of government allowing us to have our money so that we can improve our business, so we can improve what the farmer is getting and give him something at a better price? Prices for fertilizer are very high. I believe for D, between 700 and 800 kwacha a bag. Now, our president has mentioned 250 to 300. Even if it goes down to 400, it will make a very big difference. It means that we don't really have to increase the price of maize to allow the farmer to make money. We can just reduce the price of fertilizer. That will only come about if the government allows private enterprise to import fertilizer, not these 4 fertilizer companies like ETG, Omnia, there's another 2 Indian companies, Myombo and so on. If you only allow 4 companies to import, and the government has control of those companies, that's the end of our fertilizer business. Nitrogen chemicals cannot produce enough fertilizer. So if they open the market to anybody to bring in fertilizer and you flood the market, the price will go down by itself. Government doesn't have to find money to subsidize. There's no need for subsidizing. The border. We should stop food reserve from exporting maize and mealie meal, and even our top people from Lusaka bringing mealie meal to Chililabombwe to export to the Congo. They should allow the people in Chililabombwe to do that. The farmer who's growing maize in the field, who's sweating, let him export the stuff and get dollars. With those dollars, he can improve his farm. The better the price, the better the situation, more farmers will come into this market. And the more farmers that come into the market, more food, cheaper prices, less suffering. I could go on all day, but I think I've said enough. I'll meet you some other time. Thank you.
Sometimes our road is made worse by the grader, and we would ask that our help be given to the feeder roads to our farming areas. Then we've got a challenge, we've got ZNS checkpoints around our farming areas. While we appreciate the security that they give us, we've got challenges with movements. Sometimes we've got time restrictions. After 20 hours, we are not allowed to pass. This started this year. And you know, farming is a challenging job. It's close to mining. So our farming here is very manual, and the processes are very slow. Sometimes we wake up to 22 hours. I can't leave my farm after 22 hours. I have to sleep there until 06. So I don't know, I'm asking for your help, sir, concerning the feeder roads and the ZNS operation areas, or what their job is really around our farming areas, so that we can be helped to have free movement and have the roads improved on. Thank you.
I think I can take one more.
Thank you. Firstly, Honorable, wants to congratulate you for the victory, and we are so excited
that can we deliberately have a system where a manufacturer ends at manufacturing. The middleman business, referring natural land. I'll marry this point, Peter's point, to your point. We have an example of trade kings. Let me mention them. I hope they won't soon. They are manufacturers, they are distributors, they are wholesalers, and they are retailers. All these three have been killed. And there is no middleman business. Equally, when a mine begins to say, Mukwate paper la fiya distributor na bushani uko, we have to have deliberate programs where we promote the local supplier. I'll sing this song as long as I'm your MP. That let's do something about this. It's the only way our people will benefit from the resources that are in our district. The mines must have deliberate programs to promote local suppliers. But again, you, the local suppliers, must be ready, must be prepared, like I said. We are going to talk on your behalf. We'll make the noise. Very soon, it's just that days are almost done with my engagements because it says Friday we are officially open in Parliament. So I only have 2 days here. But be rest assured that almost every weekend I'll be here. Unless Chashupa. So we need to engage these people and tell them our people need jobs. Our people need contracts. Bantu ichalo, mwe bantu ngata mule umfawino mchalo, ni bana nyaba kumfawino. Bantu icho mvote la imwe, nicho na mwishibati nga tuwabika pokabuswe. Akaya pange chongo, kwa kwa tama business yesu yaka yupanta. Stay for it. Ocho kwa verana kampeni kuya mkulaya na abantu. Nebonga mwampera kakapuna, mfile na chika chikampanda na chikampanda. But if you're not mulaya, fufile fya moneka, at least I must have 10, 20 big businessmen who have made it under my reign. Then I'm successful. So we are going to try our best. But I emphasize that I want to work with you and let's get engaged together so that we move in one direction. So we will speak to the mines. We will speak to other organizations. We will speak to the council. At today, Mona, nani ye list yama company zile chinjania. Deliberately so. And we want you to justify it. Techo twashitire kukitwe. Chililabombwe takwa liwinga it's a supply. Actually, sabikire ko nkabe pshat imomwe ni bamikoni. Mwadishi becho lesa shirikire mu Chililabombwe. Shaba yabekala mu Chililabombwe. So imwenga muletwa fwa ko kuchitamai. But ifo tufire tule chitako benefit kuli shirikoni. Pantu shensu. So nga twamita nga ba investor bala imbomu kuba. Make sure that mushire kona ifofwe na ifo tushire kono bufungao. Not bufungao buli obwabufi, bufungao bwakwe bati na ifo pamala pamoneka. Because if I'm saying I want to start the amateur league, I have 10 businessmen, powerful ones. Imwesichira muntu sponsor kwa kali timu kama amateur. Muleka shitira kwa menshi, tuma bola, no tuma jezi. Nishiriki yandi ya amateur yamba na ambo kuchita develop imsepela. Bale kula nga bapangika tulera ndana matimu ya kalamba. Because ngana yande bachefi abamisepela kulicho. Ndefo ko bapanga ila bize yakwe batama pint ya chepi. So that mwe bashitsi ama pint mwala bamuchibe kai bakulana kakwisa nwango fe 2 billion aka. Because if when we were youths ourselves, yatwale kulabasa. Ngatwalifya abama bangena okwangala na shani na bwe mpite tukute. But it's because our fiashi were busy ku skulu, wayamkutea bola, uleisa mkuinuka na onaka. It's just that we did not commercialize our football because most of our peers who were playing football, you know, it's because we didn't plan properly on how to keep sportsmen. Now we have proper channels. So that Zambia and Chililabombwe used to produce very good players. Most of the national team good players because there were programs that were put in place. Not everyone can be a lecturer or an engineer. But for us to do these things, we need powerful businessmen. Inendebo mbane, pakita succeed ni moyo. Muishi befena moyebeni. Ni moyo unakola konko nshapa chibi. Pangen 50,000 kaidine ni mipangira inshila. Na paku mipangira inshila nkara mebati mupange kwa kalupia. Notaka kuisa mtumba mwanti. Chane unikala kumeba no kwa kutuwala shiteni kwa mapola 20. Wamieni ko tennis court yapa. Painti the squash court. It will not be hard cash to me. No, I don't want that. So that we can develop our city. Na mmono mshefe ulambi. Mweba kulila kukamenza township. Kule mweneka kwa tina kalimu mulikuma farm. Parapama flatlets, kwa tina muliku farm. But that place used to look beautiful. Ngamule pita mwenza township, nensala ile nimuka. It sounds like a joke, but it's serious. Yet we have a lot of wealth. Chililabombwe is one of the wealthiest towns in Zambia. Mwalimu na ila confusion ya wakubodi. Chuma chidia chale nga ila confusion. But tatoa chichita organize wino chile chuma chaba kulia. Because oko wasanga kulia abantu kwa tuguruguru ni switch byati kulia kantu. But where is all that wealth? So we are going to push that agenda. Olopo chawamina. My election is 5 years from now. So inde mieba te campaign. Inde mieba ifo tufile tuachita. Nshishile mku mzemba ikati yo pakuti mumvote. 5 years. Itulela nde ikute ya bonse. Tute ebola bonse. Tuwami omushi wesu. Let's take this thing very seriously. I'll soon be engaging our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And of course, the president and the policies. We cannot have prices in Congolese money in Katsumbalesa, Zambian side. Very soon I'll be engaging RDA. We need to make 4 lanes at the border to decongest the border, clean it up. Ichochene choncha kalwala chimone chipatala chilabaye berati kabuswa kesa chipwisha ni mbwela mkuchipwisha. The program that we left with latest abandon the road network in Chililabombwe, we are back. May Esther rest in peace. But we'll finish. And we are not finishing so that muntashi awe. We are finishing because of what file chaba. Tufilo kwate msewe suma. Tufilo kwate chipatala. Inaisha kula bombela timumboni. I have no time for that. Na kula bombela tikuno kuwame. Pantu ni kumushukumia suine kuno. Eko awo mtoto. Moto kana ya ndina ilikala pita mababu ya mwenu. Kisha kwa nibati ayakwa impita ya pungemu. Abana bandi bichiro chini chipatala chakuno. Wabandi ba bululu shandi. It's the same hospital that will service them. No, one quarter la manga one you first go to the nearest. Pakuti njenge ukuku kioyo kukwini uko wako atakasaka. It's now ufua. So the best is the nearest. Clean the nearest. So that the one for Fiakachintuna Bakutuala, or Parapeni Pavama referrals. And I want to tell you, Chililabombwe has properly trained the doctors. Parapakakos. I visited it. Most of you watched on TV. Tudianale donate, it reminds me. It's just one businessman. but unfortunately not from here. Na ile mwe bati boy, muchipatala tamuli na stethoscope. Karako tukala doctor fuala, akupime koli ya first tabala mona ifimbi. Na ile inefe batitira kwa ma vitals tamuli. BP machine. Can we stop that please?
BP phone, yeah, we can go for silent also.
BP machine tamuli. Chilecho ba checking nako diagnostic machine kumfwefi olwere tamuli mchipatala bala itala level 1 hospital. Olo chilecho patala chesu mwali wana ba doctor ba chifola nomba doctor ale kule platafola teta kuperefia bufimula ndo kwa na fulunga na tali ile kungana. As businessmen, if we are powerful, we can say, but doctor, opo uteko tawulambo kumifolesha. If you form a businessman, tuakula mpela kwa mashingo, kwa at least for upkeep. These are issues that we can do. So we quickly said, no, takuru tutuntu, ka 20 pin. I'm sure here I can raise even 100 today. But if you are a big businessman, I'll raise $1 million in one meeting. And it change a lot of things. Will you at 100 pin? Will you in another couple 50? Kaini shina mpaka maso 50 tailipanga na sensi. Na mkwata. Tefio iwe Michael. That is how we need to move. So we quickly to organize. I didn't want to come to you because nishilami panga. I know a lot of you supported me even during our campaigns. All of you from here so here about UPND. Takuli fiafu bela mo wa temwani shina umutemwa. I'm a businessman in Goreva Kambata Pamkoshinista Ulebomba fi. Yonga was supposed to you to get a kuchite chao we filter to the fire. We want you to flourish in your businesses and do what you want to do. Because this town depends on you. So the issue of agriculture, Peter, is something that is very, very close to my heart. And I pray that the president will quickly move in on the issue of fertilizer. I know he's got his own time and he's meticulously working, but really inputs must go down. And like you said, we cannot have a scenario where the same person is selling at wholesale, the same person is also selling at retail. That is a big policy shift, but I'll push it. I'll present it to the powers that be. I think I've tackled the three. Oh yeah, the payment of local.
Without that money, they won't be able to close the shops in the Chinese.
Yeah, the input shops. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. That is about payment of local suppliers. Yes. It's an issue. The local debt is actually huge. So I'm sure government will begin to liquidate it slowly so that we can have money in circulation amongst the business people. The question of feeder roads. You know, the issue, some of these issues, I want people to settle down, please. Quite a lot of movement, so it disturbs a bit when people are moving up and about. Are we settled now? Okay, so the issue of feeder roads for farmers and also okay, the benefit chance here, If you have at a particular time, yes, you know that you can knock off at a farm at 22 hours. But back block at the end, you know, when people put certain things in place, there has to be mechanisms to support what you have put in place. For example, there has to be a way in which you make sure that when farmer, after farm pamwe ale to produce or produce. But if you just block everyone, that is going to be a problem. Anamayo, na papa tasana chiteni settle down. Forget about the water. People want to die. You will famine, Shalom. Forget. Let's talk this. Let's talk. This is serious.
Mama, can you stop distributing water, please? Mama.
Mwalimona organized meeting, imomwema businessmen mulasangwa meeting. Before tamula ingila, because this issue disturbs. Mukasanga tupatu kuna tonse na wabika kwa menshi. So ngefyo mwachichita. Mwabika tupa menshi so that umuntu para penya yaka bulakana. Because like this you are disturbing the flow of the thoughts. So when I was there, I didn't have a lot of problems on feeder roads. Because I was a hands-on man. And I'm sure that is also an hands-on man. So we work together to make sure that we have proper feeder roads. What? I don't want to go to the past. All I can say is that we are going to coordinate. We are going to be working together. Because if in a district there is disjointed leadership, mayor, MP nefiakwe, mayor nefiakwe, Kampando nefiakwe, what you have is confusion. Even when you have the capacity to do it, so we need to be coordinated. So that's what we are going to do, sir. We are going to have a coordinated, well-coordinated approach. All of them watch that Misebo, Bashiseva, Shisha, Tashibana Buino, it's because we do it at the wrong time. So like now, this is the right time to do feeder roads. When it's dry. No one can say, I'm going to be managed now. Peter, your hand keeps coming up.
Honorable, there's a reason. Under CDF, we've allocated 285,000 for feeders to be done now, just before the rain. But with the elections and with all what's been happening, things have just been left like that.
So the money is there.
Yes, you need to sit down with me and we can sort out the CDF problem.
So we need to start the feeder roads now. And we need to do proper feeder roads. Almost every one of us use the feeder roads. Fwewe lenda mumpanga makampeni ngawa balolesha bakumpanga tuwa mfulusi kwatta baba mzambi olo abantu abanensi bakulya kumapanga efyo bafwaya finono sana. So we are going to work on that, sir, to make sure that there is a coordinated approach. I think, like Peter has mentioned, I'll quickly hint to the mayor so that even when I'm away, the program of feeder roads is put in place quickly before the onset of rain. Have I left anything, Papa Chipusha? Yeah, I mentioned actually that there has to be a coordinated way of doing something. The issue of ZNS, inandefo avebakai. Tusalangani. Okay, if the system wants them around for other things, not to stifle business, no. Kasumbalesa market. Inena listisha po unga kasumbalesa. Nothing as magola nga businessman. Takwa baba smagola ma businessman. Ubunga kuboda tapali winga satisfy ya market. Bonse fe kukuma na bale fokula listisha. The only thing is we have to make sure there is food security. Now, food security is not stifling business. Kasumbalesa is a market. Lubumbashi has how many? 5 million people, isn't it? 5 million market abantu. Ni malu saka ya bijai and a half. So meaning, that is a market we need to take advantage of. So it's basically making the right policies. So as ZNS, we are still engaging the government to make sure that a business begins to flow. We need to use that market to make money for our town. Emkwai. Nayamba mepisha ni mmona ba ni mmona. Three of you. Bamwape na wabali hapa. Bamwape chini kuma bali. Three first later I'll come back to the others.
Yes. Congrats once again on that. I think it has been maybe addressing these guys. So how you as a member of parliament from Chililabombwe?
Concern number one, like in my case, na registered register company, but Chililabombwe kuinstall nguimo. So kutina demo kweba ti vaona lepo through va chair, vaisho kutwafa kufema beginners. Because in station ligero muletampa, chilavecha shupa abatampa kali kumupera ko apa kuingirira. Kano limbi waliveshwa ko munshira imbi. So chilalenga kwati limbi wali start register company kwati ngwaona wile fienshita. So kutwa demo kweba ti maybe va chair vaisha fwa kwenshira kumanishamo kweba letampa business because na fwa inefibinga fyali iswike kutwa imshako na banyesu inchito abe kerefe mumushi akweba ta trust bonse twafika ko pamushinku o abanenso abafutangirira bafikirepo nali panga ko save nali ya kuchinsenda kwa mkumona ko fe ifyo kwaba no kumona kama business opportunities nasangiro ko bati order yesukulia taiwomba but on the other side abanenso activities eko yali so through your office your honorable na dimo ko bati maybe border chinsenda kwa boku iroleke shapo pakweba naye nanga yali iswike kuti twachitako decongest kasumbalesa border elio umusebona wena tauli bwino kuti wakaliro kwebati wawamishwa pakwebati bambi abashinga bombera paka sumbalesa border kuti babombyako chinsenda border. That those are my concerns. Thank you.
Chimbito ndefayo kulandako chava wasi muno chalo chesu limina mkuchira bombe makamaka ngamwamona ba MP umuseboyi batupangia museboyi ufuminya papa Petrota olero shishibe ifyo twinga bona uli umusebo nga chakwewa umusebo uli up to standard and uli umusebo nga mwawolesha tausenene misebo imoyo toa kwete for example nalapela kone champo mwena ko umusebo wafuma nkambalukuta
yapta yayamrea ulo wale panga umuselo wale panga si milare alitampa kupandika. And I for one took it and gave the consent to the leader who was in office by then. And I was very disappointed that the leader also said, how about Atana influence to Gonga. Now, therefore, I say, we push a Musholo Valley Pangan Sevo, engineering, Chililabombwe, Patensa, Kula, Stamoni. And if those works are being monitored, I think it will help a contractor to put up a quality work. And that will also help us to save money. Because when you look at the roads that are being done, yes, they are nicely done. But I tell you, they are not durable. Meaning that not cheap, but expensive. So as our area MP in Chililabombwe, I think, when we have such contracts, sir, you have to look into it, where the engineering department is supposed to be monitoring the way these contractors will be putting up roads in our locality, so that we have a durable road and we save money on that. The other money is generated can be channeled to other operations.
Vamwape inenga MP well. I am not interested in who gets what, as long as we're not Chililabombwe. As long as it's my people, you are free to get whatever you want to get. Inete inempi ukarati nechinshingwa charity. Raishibombele nishishibombele mukamfambula. You are very welcome even to build a hospital as a businessman. We'll say thank you. These are the people we want. It's not right. Umuntu lemkonka fena pamunjo poingila. No, that is not counsel. I'm the same person who wants to fight for you, that you get jobs, that your businesses flourish. I do that again. In the community we live, what is important is to have respect for one another. That's all. Then as a leader, why you elected me is for me to facilitate your lives. To facilitate that our children go to school by bringing good policies through the government. That's why you elect us. To provide leadership. Apa shupile tu amilandila. To look at your interests as business people. That's why we are where we are. I may not answer the question on the strength of the road that has just been made. All I can tell you is that under my reign, we are going to have quality things. We'll make sure that happens. I may not know, I was not part of the contractors or checking whether they are giving us a quality road. I didn't do that. But all I can say is we'll make sure there is quality going forward. We don't want to talk fiachtikekunu. That I can assure you. The issue of Chinsenda is something that we need to look at as an alternative to decongest Kasumbalesa. Though for me, all we need for Kasumbalesa is order. There is a lot of disorderliness at the border, a lot of it. And for us to have order, we need to put certain things in place. So that is what we need to do. Chinsenda, yes, is an alternative. It's a capital project because for Chinsenda to be busy, we need to do a very good road. Tarmac. Then of course we need to have security. The goodness with Kasumbalesa, route ya Kasumbalesa. Ama variables yala pita safely because kwa liba safe. Kulia kuchinsenda ni shukule fwa ikwana mumba ni mulamu wako busy or tufintu. It's something that we are looking at because one of the ways that we are planning to develop Chililabombwe is to move away from the central business district. We want to open up areas. Kuno, I was telling people in the morning that Chililabombwe mpanga ikulusana, except Bonzet for a few quicker mupe. What we basically need is to have developments away now from the central business district. Filakulusaka chilia tumuntu kala kunyuka sama, nangwe kala kushani, away from the town center. But kulaku ine kuli not much shopping mall. That plan is already in place. And the implementation will begin in earnest, where we should open up areas. But that plan needs money. And investors, and you are the investors. Echo fele safuile fia toafwe. Mubi ama powerful businessmen. Kula tea fia matwinga to amfwa fia tuku investor nice. Especially KCM. Wang. We'll soon be talking to them, especially Barbambe when Okobaliabe Nekani. KCM is still in a lot of confusion. In the confusion, in the confusion, they were busy looting the mine. Imagine Shirem Darama Varela and Napo $70 million. Ngashai Shirem local economy, you can even feel it. Those of us who were there, I know most of us were there when Anglo-America was here. I know, Peter, you remember those days.
1 year.
Yes, for 1 year, we felt how nice it is to have a good investor. So we pray that we can have such a period of time so that your businesses can flourish. Enquire. Any more? Yes, sir. Yes.
Chililabombwe is the wettest mine in the world. And pumping water out from underground, it is quite costly. The question is, what are we doing with water? Can you consider Chililabombwe for irrigation? There was a meeting that I attended, it must be now maybe 15 years ago. That was a planning meeting. I think they sent people from Lusaka. We gave suggestions, but it's like we are doing nothing. We have market already. Market is actually Congo. And not Patempang Chililabombwe. So please, can you consider Chililabombwe for education? Manawasa started. Let's go against rain patterns. What about if we have drought and yet we have water? So please, can you consider that one? Then coming to our border town again, Kasumbalesa. Like you have actually mentioned, the issue of smuggling must come to an end. We need to look at Kasumbalesa as a business venture opportunity. Let's make sure that
we don't finish. So as a bulldozer, I'm sure our boss will see how we can help us so that we at least do something, we finish off what we started. Unlike just giving the manager something. Thank you very much.
So you actually, that land belongs to who?
Okay, we were told it belonged to a cooperative or maybe Mingomba. Yes, Mingomba.
So Mingomba is the one trying to stop you?
No.
The council?
The council, yes. I know there must be an influence which came from some politicians.
Like a no man's land.
Yeah.
So Mumamba sold in the no man's land, in short.
Yeah, there are some structures which are in the no man's land, but others are away. Because I'm sure there are some meters which they should consider.
There's a road.
Yes, there's a road which
Buffalo.
Yeah. So I don't know how to
be 200 meters from the big road.
Yeah.
So just need your help.
The issue of those structures, that one I can answer straight away, because the issue of those structures, you know, one thing is about me is that I want to be very frank. The issue of the border structures, there are a lot of encroachments and illegalities that have taken place. So your issues are, we really need to sit with the mayor, look at the pros and cons of the issue, and see whether there was an illegality somewhere or not. Then we can pick it up from there. It's not an easy matter because we allowed the situation. When I was mayor, I tried to fight the issue of encroachments at the border and the illegalities that were happening. I was almost, if mayors were fireable that time, I would have been fired. Because we had a lot of interested parties wreaking havoc. Big people. So some of the problems at the border are products of corruption. But all we need, like your issue, we need to see how best we can go around the issue, and that goes for the mayor actually to do, because the mayor is the custodian of land, being the head of the council. Bashima Pepo Bakase. Chililabombwe is a very wet mine, yes. Some of the water we are drinking is coming from underground. They process the water and give to us. But it requires a lot of political will and huge investment for us to harvest that water. It is something that we need to look at. Immediately I stepped in the office, I had already engaged Mulonga on the water challenges of Chililabombwe. That's why I'm saying I need rich businessmen, because some of the problems we have is just lack of pumps. Big pumps that can pump out water and feed the households. So some things we can just do them as businessmen and say, okay, to arrange the coaching pump, we want to be clean infrastructure, to the pumping a mensch, very around. So the issue of irrigation farming, yes, those are issues that we will present to the president, because agriculture, one of the promises I made to our people, and I'll strive to fulfill it, is that we need to buy tractors in farming blocks. We must mechanize our farming. So mechanization includes what you are talking about, like irrigation. Drought. I was born here. There's never been drought. So we need to shift. You know, the way the rain patterns are indicative of where you can concentrate your farming. Those of us that are in farming. And Chililabombwe can be a breadbasket for our country in terms of production. So I hear you on the issue of underground water. I also hear you on the issue of ZNS. I'm very passionate about that one. If you're not sure, I didn't defo a favorite put. You can't kill a small young man, or I mean a young man with one bag of mini-meal. It's very unfair. Limotetwishwe na mashamuko ya fuma. Umuntu nakalisa kama tonte mfuti. Uachili track happy. How can you be so unfair? We just need to produce more and stop these issues of exporting raw materials like maize. Maize is a raw material. We need to, all the maize must be processed and sold to a market that is yawning already. So I hear you, sir, on the issues of mistreatment of our people in Zambia, and who are just trying to put food on their table. We must know that the motivation of anything that people are doing, because so ngamona kwa inshirati mbyukunga na istisha kutubili tutatu na lali yako. Efi ya wateka pa mtu bala ya notu jinga. Ele ntwala batonte mfuti. Awe. Bushe babili batatunga bapusumuka. Kulizedene sinishi ubunga wapo mchana.
And they are not pinching that meal, they're paying for it.
Yes. We can't be so inhuman and unfair. I don't want to go in details. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Honorable. I'm going to speak as a businessman, not as a district based on price. I'll borrow the word from Mr. Alonto's Mwape over selfishness. I want just to say something because I've been a victim on there. As businessmen, sometimes, men and women, sometimes we are to blame. I remember sometimes back, we could apply some of us to some of the contracts, but we were not picked. We ourselves are the ones who always go to the relevant authorities to say this one, don't give him the contract, is PF or is UPND. I think that trend should end. There's no one who is more PF or more UPND. We are all businessmen and women. We need just to support ourselves. And there's also another problem which I've seen. In as much as we want to portray that we are more UPND or we are more PF, we always make mistakes. Sometimes we could even release our own properties like vehicles and load them with stones to go in the community and start throwing at the perceived so-called opponents.
For me, now, even now, to support businessmen who were perceived to be PF, it has become so hard, but me, I'm looking at you as Zambians, human beings who should be supported. It's better we support the coffee we carry. Let us be on the side, because right now, those of us, or those of our people who are UPND, they are watching me whether I'm supporting who or supporting who. But that shouldn't be the case. So as business people, let us study the situation. How is the situation? I'll give you an example, because we have already voted. Him is part of the people that supported us. Quietly. But you never heard it. As businessmen, read the mood. Because if you don't support them, we will support. Imagine in Africa, mwali kumene po ba businessmen na MP. Mulilanda funo tulilanda. Iyo tulande vetachi. So you as businessmen also, learn to be on the side of the people that give you the money when you are doing business. Because it becomes so hard. I will support all of you. Whether you supported who, I don't care. Me, what I care is you are a Zambian, you are a human being. It is just that you are putting me in an awkward position. I'm not saying support me. When you don't want to be political, be apolitical. We call it apolitical. In the middle. Now, lava coffee. Or do it quietly and be on the side of the people. Pano once business, you deal with people. You don't deal with trees. Sometimes the people that make us rich are the common people walking on the street. The workers. Yesterday I was with teachers. So as businessmen who were busy supporting the other side, we were supporting such nonsense. In this era and age, he was there in the meeting. Because we thought, Nafrofi Nevale tutini nkisha, atinga waya supporta washitako ka board na wama desk. So ninja wama desk that pange ni list yama desk, nkamile try mwebe neba businessmen. Tushita yama desk yama suku. Aba naweka la punch. Nale sara pala, ma businessmen, nale gombela abana. We will not always be waiting for central government. We have wealth here. This wealth must come in your hands so that it begins to help people. Tapawo wewe chuma chika kanaves. Ichuma kule plachasha le nipi. Bamoino isana bafiro kwa kustwana. They are trying to move. Na wapangana wa contractor wa kumuvini ndalama. Kutuka na show. No kwa le istwara teshibe. Mama na mukabwala na febwa. Wapanga contractor wa kufunisha pia mchalo chongo. Lule ya kufumemo. Na boka lulia shana. So just do the right thing and help people. Although do not help people because you want to be seen. That's not me. So me, my focus is you businessmen, you are wealthy, we help the town together, we move together and develop our town. That is the way to go. I saw Mr. Ngungwe's hand.
Thank you. We want to continue sharing the congratulatory messages, Your Honor. Just want to make a few comments on what you've already mentioned. Kasumbalesa on the issue. If you read or hear to the news, Kasumbalesa is taken as a province of Zambia. It's up to us to get organized and manage that area properly. If you ask somebody today, how many outlets at Kasumbalesa? No one knows. Because people just wake up and construct something. At any point, we're able to manage that. I tell you, we'll make a lot of money in this town. Two, there's a lot of cannibalism around at the border there. Unfortunately, the guys who are terrorizing people are Congolese. Whoever buys merchandise have to pull him, get some money. That has to come to a stop. We don't need people from Lusaka. Like 3 weeks ago or so, the Bank of Zambia governor came. I'm sure Honorable you are aware. And they said he didn't know that there's so much money being made at the border. It's us here. We can make up a committee to work together with the council and we manage the resources in that area. The other one is you've mentioned about the football academy. I know some people may be wondering what you get from football. When you go to Europe, around this time, around 16 hours, parents take the children to fields. They know there's money
That's how those Messis, Ronaldos were generated. They're coming from poor families in Brazil. So what the Honorable is mentioning is worth, following it up. Ukakwati mwana alishwa sana bona. Kuna kwa kama parents yabatuma abana kusambirira bona. One has taken a child to Croatia, the other one is in UK. And see Mrs. Banda is here. I think she knows the story. Abana bamukuti afi Ebola. Mwamona fe talent ya mwana. You know how much money those guys get? Very shortly you hear parts of Dhaka's bought a jet. Don't get surprised. There's money in those fields. The rates at the council, Honorable, people are terrorized here. Once a quarter starts, like July, people start going around from home to home knocking. But they want the money. But if you look at the period is from July to December. So there should be a leeway somebody can organize the money and pay within that period. But now already they started terrorizing people, moving with chain of locks and keys. You find next week they start locking houses for people. Then how to survive? You pay the NAPSA, you pay the rates, you pay the water. Business becomes difficult. We need your help, Honorable. I think those are my issues. Thank you.
Yesterday I was telling the town clerk that Batisi, our officers, it is legal to pay rates and it's important to pay rates. Every country, people pay rates. But I told the TC to say, can you change the approach? Abama officers mutuma mushi. Baya kwati bere kumkondo. Mukutinya abantu. Olo muntu ngati takofe default panono ndechikoma turechisala ifetu alachita chinshi. These businessmen mulabaka mapa mukoshi, but you want money from them. Try to dangle a carrot to them. I told the TC. So I said, can your approach be, rather than of, punitive, try to be accommodative to the people. Talk to them. Can you train your officers who go out there? Let them not mistreat people. We have services in the city. That matter, I was very passionate when I spoke to him about it. Yes, we must. I'm not saying don't pay rates. Please pay your taxes. But even as we pay our taxes, let it be in such a way that I will engage them very seriously again on that matter. When you business people cry, we must listen as leaders. So please, I would love you to make a lot of presentations to my office on these issues, so that slowly we can attack them one by one. Like I said, I want you to be wealthy businessmen who can help this town flourish. That is the approach we must take. So I hear you very well. Thank you for supporting my ideas on sport, on actors. Some of the wealthy people in Nigeria are actors, very wealthy. So that we must spread our tentacles and allow people's talents to flow. Now people are taking people to soccer academies. Kukulaya kasambiri de bola. Bantu ngawambo kufola shile fola patso. Ni shifono uchushi bwako. Ni 1 week. Feka ini week bena wafola pay week. So these are serious issues. They look simple, but they are matters that can change people's lives. So that's why I want to pursue them. Really just as well in this hand.
Vana chitisho mutengo unono. So fila tafana ta timwa tuafu wako kwa figai. Ero ben.
Yes.
Cha number 2. Cha number 2. Ucho tuleka ndasa mungu mwesu. Wika shwe shati netawa wa mwini wana mai kai fa wana mai fo kwa sona ma family. Uko começa na tuika 10 years tatawa bomba ko chichonzi. Tuika la vie, tuya mala fia bana para banda ngota bare bomba. Ifana tuika la tuya batamba fie. Ifanga wa yakule mkishita kwa export. Pakuti bakupere fia kwa export na ufuka mana upapa. Kwa mtatu akwata makaputo wako. Tuapatana. Pakuti bakupere kuwa patana na kapero kuma bantu kasainga wana mnongera 20 tracks. Ina no ko teka mata bakampeni. Taba kampeni no kuitika. So tulero kwa ona lipongefu mabombere bya mwali ba me mwali bombere kuno sana. Na papene tuleka bile fine mule tubombere fe chapama. Tuleto teresa tuavo pari fionse fumulati na tunfu. File tuwa ikatana wabjama niswali baba ikemwa. Ngomo bachala njawa dati. Wana dati na filisheni kwa na yini. Mumbike kwa mulaini na nituwa kufena kama kukana. Tufile fia kwa tuwabombera kwa mwongo fema business kwa baba ikatana. Unesu ngatako ete tuwa mwafilisha. Wali wa mama wali kwa tamu half track. Mama wali kwa tunga 200 bags. Mama wali kwa tunga 300 bags. Then tuwa mbele pako. Ngawa wana libore na wala tuwa kwa wala isra tuwa wala.
There's enough money in Chililabombwe for you. You can't use the money that is in Chililabombwe. We are not just coordinating. So we need to be coordinated. I'm saying the we just need to be coordinated. There is enough money for all of us. If you are put that price our name out of business. Me, I want us to be a united force. And I don't just want to be helping the same people. I told you in my initial remarks that I don't have favorites. All of you are my favorites because you are human beings. You have issues that you need to solve. And I need to work with you. So let's get united. Kumuntina kwata 200 bags we are putting masonka mwaleta 1 track mwalaji tiafna fide mwebe. Ngabunga that is. But whatever other products, work together. One of the weaknesses of the African, I don't know whether it is just the Zambian setup. To item masana kuba solo business. Wake up. There is nothing wrong with all of us going to talk if you make school. There is nothing wrong with that. All of us are entitled to a good life. But sometimes you need your friend to carry you along so that you have that good life. You see, my party is here because my party, I'm a creature of the party. So I can't divorce myself from them. I can't come here alone. I have to come with them. Because I'm a creature of the party. We must develop that spirit. About what information from the MP, share. Leaders who they would be leaders, don't be selfish. Share information to others. Na ifo abantu ngoli munangani nishu ifyeta wate bona. There was a time we had a lot of you who were suppliers. Chiramuntu wale kwa takashare. Uiwampela kwa kaka order, uiwampela kwa kaka order. Ani kwa taka order. Kwa wale wanamu kumana nuku anampela kwa kaka order. Ana ingena wampela. Almost everyone had something to supply to the mines. Tuwaishile ilufia niya befwebe. Tuambo supply umwela, wambo, ngori na wambo. Kaili ya business, that was sustainable.
bayo kutekofu bwalangi tukiri tuleerolera but kuli bambi abaleepisha amafiti then they are paying somewhere bakwati amatracks ya piti nomba kwilishanya kweskwakwe bati nababalinga fidi nababalinga namachicks but how come ambeleepisha amafiti alefika kuboda so tuleimwa kwati corruption yoko ichili honorable but is corruption nabakanya bapako wati umuntu apishe chintu aliklapo something pa checkpoint fintu fyapita but ifwe bambi tulerolela chawe tulerolela ama meetings tulande na government deba kapshitalawu tukambe okushefte ngakutu batu mwena kwa issue kwayo.
I'm sure on the issue of fees and the chickens, government is being put in place. I'm sure policy direction if it's all about from a feed, from a chicks. Yeah, Papa, I think Kokochaya more short. Quite amazing. We need to find a way. Number stock feed in the air short. It means we are underproducing certain things. So we just need to step up our production levels. I will allow the last four. Ababa bili kulia na then Peter you will be last. Wish. I'm very compliant. Can I feel Emerson today in that order? Your idea on that land so that we have a city market in Chililabombwe whereby
from Somalia to come and open a retail shop in Kasumbalesa. And some Congolese from across, they come over to Zambia and they rent shops. So it's like Kasumbalesa, Mulembo, Wachu. For even if we're Zambians, we are not benefiting from that. We are even out of business as well as now. So to avoid that, there's a box change of Deco. You vote back with it, you vote your protest. The policy can be finished. We never know issue.
Oh, yes.
Number two, don't tell us what the government that cares. In the past, one of our young people from Machipsha, we have other associations. We came together and we tried to set up a meeting with our ex. He gave us a date. When we went there, we were told he left at 01. So, that was the right part place. We got to offer. Please to offer. And the other thing is we cannot be trading in front. Legal tender for Zambia is kwacha. Akalende ushakale sana before abantu abengita bayishoka Sombalesa. Balabetazi wa Brazil abachingeni. Bale sanga no man's land. When they are coming from Congo, they used to leave their front. No man's land passing that kwacha, they cross. But this time we will find them back. I'm not getting back. We left the filling station now on Brazil. Everything we manage to market, we one infra. Even about trade kings. But trade kings, they don't accept kwacha. I've traded with Fungufu and all those products. When you go there with your kwacha, they'll tell you go and change, either dollar or franc. Then you come and buy. If in there, I can show you that so I don't know the kind of Zambia we are trying to build here. Then, our nails are from outside. But there are big contracts. They set up depots and they are helping their fellow nationals from afar. So if we that's good, it's like we are second-class citizens. But when we are voting, the first-class citizens, they ran away. Until to a voter, but people who voted, they come back and they start enjoying our money. So,
we need dollars. So let's work at a mechanism where we can reap those dollars and put them in our banks. At the moment, the dollars at the border are not going into the banks. They're going overseas through different means, but not through the bank. Don't stop the dollars at the border. Let the farmer take his produce to the border, sell for dollars, use the dollars to buy equipment, machinery, and to fix his farm. We need control at the borderline. We need to have, I don't know who, but somebody capable there, not the examination service and not the military. We need somebody to control that border to make sure these people don't come over and cause problems in our country. There's, like you said, there's absolutely no control at the border there. No matter what you do, there's chaos. So if we can sort out the chaos, we can do very well.
One thing I'll say, Kanabe somewhere around the party sponsorship, be a team. I may not say I will sponsor because there will be so many teams that will come to me, sponsor us. What we need is to empower you businessmen. So that you have the, because like I said, the program where I want to use sport as a way of income generation for our youths and the other people is through you businessmen to have the money to do it. That's why I'm engaging you. There is a reason why I want to work with you, because the development agenda that we have encompasses or includes you businessmen. It scratch my back, I scratch yours. But not the back of the Member of Parliament, the back of the town of Chililabombwe. That's what we want. So to work with you is to give you capacity. So that the formula to afford, because when we start the amateur league, we would need those teams they will need to be transported. They will need some kind of water. They will need jerseys. They will need balls. So it's an issue of us working together, building capacity in you to be able to roll out that program. Border, we need to look at it. How do we benefit? How do we harness the wealth of the border? How do we harness the wealth in the mines so that you are big businessmen that can support these programs? That's what we need to do. So capacity must be built in you, the business people. You talked about busing people. That has been my issue even on radio programs. Those of you that have followed me. We are slowly going to engage Lubambe. But Lubambe is the biggest culprit on busing people. If you have 10 buses taking people outside Chililabombwe, you are roughly talking about 1,000 people. If those 1,000, they get maybe 8 pin per month each or 10 pin, you are talking about 10 million going out every month. Money which should be in circulation in Chililabombwe. And you will feel the impact. No manage money will like 10 million here in Chililabombwe. Yafuma yaya. Oro mkoti ulia wesu. Fwe na Chililabombwe. Nishwale tu ya pabi. Bale senda ma profit. Na shirashi nenda la mabale fulisha bantu. Shile fuma. So chimaini chikanshi chibamo mu Chililabombwe change. So we would rather those people that are working there who speak to the council, actually, they must quickly liaise with their workers to begin to build houses, even through a loan scheme or something, so that they start living here. Them living here, it means those of you with properties, your rentals will be good. That's why I'm engaging them on a serious note, including whichever investor will come. Number one, let's use the local labor. If we are importing labor, import them, give them conditions that if we don't like Chililabombwe as a condition, you know, we miss these things. We should have told them these things. No, but to like come complicated. So it's very complicated to stop it, but we'll start engaging them. It's a matter that we need to vigorously pursue. My brother here has talked about a lot of things. I think he has lectured us on how things are just wrong. I think I talked about the pricing at the border. I also mentioned something about the supply chain. That one needs a lot of effort so that there's a policy shift on how business is conducted. It's an issue related to what Peter raised. That the same person is doing everything, cutting out the middleman. So through the chair and through this grouping, let's come up with a document that will present to the MP as the concerns of business people. So that in the Peter Monday issue, but that should be the way we engage one another. And please, let's have meetings as often as we can. I will engage them direct and tell them, guys, let's work together. Let's build this town together. There is no need to be aloof. There is every need to work together. There is power in unity. So I promise that I will be available to you, be available to me, come up with issues that you feel the MP must address. Of course, there are ideas which I already have, like engaging, our sources of businesses in earnest, so that together we can flourish as a district. We need to clean the mess. We need to reorganize ourselves. We need to engage one another, and we need not to be selfish. One thing that I want to say as I close, as your MP, it will be very difficult for me to support illegalities, illegal businesses. Apomule njelela. Ishilefwaye shinadilio na pangana mwevo mwebantu. Dikalambe. I'll try as much as possible to be very transparent with the way we work together. And as much as possible, let's do legal business. I'll fight for you on the issues of Kasumbalesa minimum trade. There are issues I will engage with the relevant powers. The issue of ZNS, I know it's a hot issue. I've told you that I've already begun to engage them on the issue of those vehicles. Those are issues that it's because I'm keen and interested in the welfare of our business people. So please, let's work together. And I thank you so much for heeding to the call. I know that you have eaten into the time in which you should have been making the little that you are making. But please, this was worthwhile to interact so that we can set the tone on how we are going to drive the development agenda of our town. Once again, thank you very much for coming. And thank you for your congratulatory message. I hand back to the facilitator.
Thank you so much. Shall we give our MP another? We really have a representative in Parliament in Mr. Kabusu, a very eloquent speaker. He has taken a lot of our concerns. He has hit the ground with guns blazing. So we are very confident that we have a lot of change coming our way through the Parliament. Now, how are we going to disperse? First announcement is that as we sing